one of the things we added that the Senate didn't have was it adds protection to sex trafficking to make sure that that stops. So, I take it's a good bill, and in doing what the bill said it's supposed to do, and that's protect women. In regards to the Native American issue, in the Native American issue, to be honest with you, I think the language could have been better. But the bill was what it was, and it really didn't take anything away from the Native Americans. And to be honest with you, the DOJ has to do a better job of protecting women on Native American reservations. I agree with that. But it does give a more direct route into ensuring that those that commit crimes on sovereign territory are dealt with accordingly. And they need to do a better job at it. But the bill is what it is, and I didn't want to vote against it for that reason, and then hopefully work with committees in the future in getting a stronger language for Native Americans. So I do agree, Bob, that the language could have been better on that, but it wasn't enough to shoot down the whole bill. But again, we wanted to make sure we concentrated on and making sure that money goes to where it was intended to go, and that's for violence against women. I mean, it's a $2.2 billion bill over the next 5 years. So it's an important bill, and I think it's a good bill, and it does exactly what it was intended to do, and that's to protect the violence against women. So thank you very much. Again, press *3 if you have a question, and press 1 to subscribe for future town halls and updates from my office, or press 2 to be removed. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And how about if we go to the next call?
Okay, next caller is Gordon. Gordon, go ahead. You're up next.
Hi, Gordon. You there?
My call. Hello?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Okay. My question was on, we just saw a video this week from WTHR in Indiana News on illegal immigrants taking tax credits or additional child tax credits on the ITIN program. Can you tell me if you're aware of that and what you could do about it?
Well, we understand. I mean, there is so much fraud, waste, and abuse in this program, and that's one of the things that is actually addressed in the Path to Prosperity, the budget that we passed in the House, by giving Medicaid grants to the states so that they are more efficient in how the money is spent. Right now, it's a perverse incentive for states to actually put more people on Medicaid because they have a lesser input than the federal government has. So, in essence, the more people they have on Medicaid, the more federal dollars that they get. The child tax credit for illegal immigrants specifically, and House Reconciliation Bill closed that loophole and requires the use now of a Social Security number. So I'm not saying that that's going to totally fix the problem, because we know that there's abuse within the, having Social Security numbers. Case in point, today I was in Homeland Security, where there has been a person that has worked in security for an airport for 20 years that has a Social Security of a guy who's been dead for over 20 years. And here he is having access to sensitive information, being able to be in secure areas on airports. So at least it's a step in the right direction, Gordon, and we're doing the best we can to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse. And that's one of the important things that we're trying to do in this path to prosperity. You know, we have to, the American families have to be much more efficient in how they have had to spend their money. They've had to tighten their belts, and they've had to become a lot more aware of how they spend their money. The states need to be a lot more aware of how they're spending their money. So that's why in the Path to Prosperity, the grants given from the federal government to the states will allow the states to be much more efficient and effective with hard-earned American tax dollars. So, Gordon, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And let's move on to the next caller.
Okay, the next caller is Eric. Eric, go ahead. You're live with the Congressman.
Hello, Congressman. Thank you.
Hi, Eric.
Oh,
You betcha.
Question I have regards to the school trust land exchange.
Yes, sir.
Within that bill, do you intend on doing some type of audit so there's a resource value of the exchange lands is equal to those lands that are currently undermanaged?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure I understand the question, but are you talking for like a value for the swap?
Well, I believe the school trust lands within the Minnesota Constitution, it's the resources, it's the long-term value of the lands.
Right.
That's one of the school trusts.
Right.
And so I'd hate to see us some timberland and end up with some...
Yeah. Well, you see, Eric, you brought up a very good point. Our bill, we had a bill already that was going to use, on the federal side, a value for value land swap. Now, the state legislature decided that they wanted an acre for acre land swap, and that was signed by the state legislature and, of course, signed by Governor Dayton. So I'm a strong believer in the 10th Amendment, and we should, in the federal government, answer to the states. So we scrapped our bill and brought on the state bill, and then what we can do on the federal side is that we could go subsurface and make sure that the mineral rights associated with the swapped lands would also be able to benefit our school kids. So what we did, though, is the land that we identified for the value for value, we also kind of incorporated for the acre for acre. So I think that we're still going to come out with the kids coming on top. And the land that we also identified is part of the precious metals area. So the 8th District of Minnesota, literally, Eric, is we're sitting on a gold mine. And a portion of it is going to be used for timber, and the other portion we're going to use for mineral rights. Taconite, gold, copper, nickel, silver, platinum, and palladium. It's all there. And those royalties and taxes will be given directly to our schools. And last time I checked, our schools need them. For example, in North Branch, we're down to a 4-day school week, and I've been told some classes are as high as close to 40 kids, which I have a master's in education. I wanted to be a teacher. I know that that's advanced babysitting. So we need to. These are lands that can really help our kids. It should have been done 20 years ago, and I'm glad that we were able to drop that bill, and we're getting support for it. And I think we're going to be pushing that through, hopefully relatively quickly. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate the call. Again, just a reminder: press *3 to ask a question, and press 1 to subscribe for future Tele-Town halls and updates from our office, or press 2 to be removed. Okay, Mike, who do we have next?
Okay, Chip. Next caller is Ann from Brainerd. Ann, go ahead.